We're going to do a turkey fan. This is kind of a job that a beginner can do. What we're going to do first is, he brought in this turkey. We're going to clean the beard off here. See this beard? A real nice turkey. His son shot it. We're going to make a nice mount out of it. We're going to clean the meat off of there and the fat. There's quite a bit of meat and fat on a turkey, on the breast area. So we get that out, and what we'll do is we'll put a little borax on there, or dry preservative. A lot of times guys will cut these off, they won't save these feathers, but this guy saved these feathers. And what we're going to do, we're going to make a nice turkey mount out of this, a fan. So what we're going to do is, we don't need these feathers on the back of the turkey fan. So what you do is you take your knife and you cut right down. Leave the skin on the quill here, right here. Leave the skin on that quill, but go ahead and cut down there a little bit. And we want to get that off of there. See this here? Right like so. We're getting that baby off of there. Get that back part of that off. Just like so. You see what I'm doing this? A lot of guys think they can do this, but if you don't get all this fat out of here, you're going to end up with some bugs in your house. We're going to go ahead and cut this right here. The turkey tail has a bone that goes right up through the middle. Now I'll show you what we're going to do here when we get here. Anyway, we're cutting this out of here, just like so. I'll show you this bone here. Anyway, you have a lot of meat in a turkey tail. A lot of meat and fat. Okay? And what we're going to do is, we're going to get this turkey bone clear up into here. See that? I'm just going to kind of get that out of there. I've got a very sharp knife here. It's one of those knives that's when you get to it, it's kind of scary sharp. So you got to be kind of careful. This is my bone cutting scissors. But anyway, you see this tail bone right here? Kind of get under it. Whatever you can do to get it out. Just like so. We'll work on it some more. Now what we're doing is, we got this tail here. We're getting rid of these tail feathers. The ones that go under the tail that hang down. We don't need those. That's going to be on the back. That's going to be gone. But anyway, you'll see the amount of stuff we take off of here. If you don't get it out, see that meat there? If you were just to put some preservative on that, you'd still end up with bugs in there. You couldn't dust that enough to get to the center in that. And you'd end up with some flies or other nasty things in the house. So, I'm getting rid of this bone here. There we go. That was kind of a trick. Anyway, this is what the back side looks like right here. Let's see if I can get that up there for you. See that? What we're going to do is, we're going to go in between all these quills. But first, we're going to take a look and see what we got going on the front here. Make sure this guy left us enough feathers here. Just like so. But now we're going to start working on that. What I want to do, you can either take this part off and mount it separately, or you can skin this back. And let's see what we can do here. Let's kind of get this thing here. Get the skin. If you can get the skin to go back without cutting it, then leave it on. But if you can't get that skin to come off, what you do is, you go up behind here like so, and you can take this whole thing off by cutting right down in here, and this whole little fan will come off. And you can do it that way. I've done them both ways. Works out pretty good either way. Anyway, we're going to try this way here, see what happens. Now here's your oil glands right here. Right there. You see that? And that's a little oil gland that's in a turkey tail, or any tail on a bird. They all have, I'm not an ornithologist, but I think most birds have oil glands. Anyway, you can see these feather quills here. And here's this. What we're going to do is we're going to take that and get our knife under there and go down along the edge of the quills, like so. You can just go just like so. You can see the end of these feathers. This here, this little fan, is this top row right here. And what we're going to do is we're going to flay the meat off of this and get the rest of that turkey tailbone out of there one way or the other. But anyway, there we go. Okay. I'm going to put the meat right there. You see this gob of meat that come out of there, meat and fat? If you don't get that out, you're going to have bugs. Okay. Here's the little fan here. That's these feathers here, these. You go up, you have these feathers here. Get a couple tiers. These are the big feathers right here. What you can do is go up underneath there like so. Just like so. Don't go up too far. If you cut them loose, then you're hung to do it the other way. Just like so. Now, what we can do is, what I do is I take my knife, go down between each quill like so. And you can see these little gobs of fat there. See that? These are all little gobs of fat in between those feathers. Now you can pick that out. You can do whatever you want. But I'll show you. We'll go to the other side here. And make sure we get this off of here. You can do some more work with your knife like so. You see that? As you can see, there's a lot of stuff on there. If you don't get that off, or most of it, let's say, it doesn't have to be surgically clean, but I'm going to show you something here. I've got this wire brush right here. Now what we'll do, just a regular wire brush. You got a smaller one, great. Go like this, in between them. See how that kind of takes it out? We'll just go ahead and do this side here too. You can handle it. You aren't going to hurt these feathers at all, so don't worry about that. Now see that there? Now if you feel like you can get more fat off with your knife, do it. That's all. The more the merrier. You know? You gotta make sure you're cutting though. And just keep going like so. You see how they kind of come apart? Your feathers? That's because you're getting in there with that brush. Now what we're going to do is we're going to turn her over. We're going to do exactly the same thing. Try to pull this up like so. You see that? You see how these gobs of fat come through there? We'll roll that just a little bit and see if we can get some of that out of there. Now I'm showing you, I've got a feather cleaner, or a feather machine that I use for degreasing birds and that. Got a wire wheel on it. Most of you people aren't going to have that, so I'm going to show you the way you do it if you're at home just starting out and don't have that. The feather wheel, this is the way you do it. Okay? And what we'll do is we'll just go ahead and I'm going to cut up just a little bit here. Just keep, and on this side, because what I want to do is I want to get this, I want to get up there as far as I can and see what we can do. You see how I've got that feathers. Okay. Do the same thing again here on the back side. We're just going to go ahead and they don't have to be perfectly clean. What we're going to do is I'm going to take this over to the sink. I'm going to mix up a little bit of soapy water in a bowl. In fact, I'll do that right now and I'll show you what I'm going to do. What we're going to do is I'm going to squish the ends of these around and get some more of that grease oil out of there. Just put it in there like so. You notice there's a lot of fat come off of that. Yeah, you can even feel it, and you can feel there isn't any oil on there. And this Dawn dish soap in there really cuts the grease good. I use Dawn or Palmolive. Let me get a paper towel here and I'll show you what we got going here now. Okay. Dry that off. You'll have a few hanger-ons and stuff like that, but nothing to worry about. This is the bottom side of that turkey, remember? We don't need that anymore. What we're going to do is we're going to get a board out here. I've got one right here. See this? What we're going to do is we're going to get this thing spread out like so on here. But first, I want to see how it's going to look. Get your feather arrangement, your pattern that looks good. You want to make sure your feathers are all in a row and things are looking good, because when it dries, it's going to dry and you aren't going to be able to change it too much. So we want to make sure that everything is looking about good. Spread your feathers out. We want a full fan like so. You know, you can only spread a turkey fan so far without it being unnatural. And I know this, you can't, what we're doing, I'm just talking to myself. But anyway, I try to get all the feathers laid out like so. So make sure it's going to lay out good. What I'm going to do is get my borax here. And it looks like we're going to mount up okay. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this, and you see where we did our, just sprinkle it with borax. And what you do is just go ahead and rub it around. Remember, we went up underneath here. Just go ahead and get it up under there. Get it up under those feathers here that we cut up under. Not like so. And pack that up in there. See that? You get some up in there. Then turn it over and get this back side. See this back side? There we go. The more the merrier there. Put the borax away. I use borax. You can get dry preservative, whatever. But anyway, borax seems to work pretty darn nice. But anyway, now what we're doing here, I'm going to make sure I got it all dusted and everything is looking good. Get my glasses back on. But you can see that. You can see if you put your feathers together like so, you can see about where the natural fan goes. But we're going to give it just a little bit more of a fan than natural. Well, let's see what we got here.